Hey guys, I am on my way out to run some errands, and I decided to do an impromptu video. Last night I tried something new on Facebook, and I did a Facebook Live video where I answered messages and emails on the live video. So I think I'm going to do that here. And to make this a topic that people will want to view, I will talk about my latest passion or my latest adventure, sea moss. Sea moss is something that I am finally delving into with, at least on the product side of things, with JulyWellness. But I started taking sea moss about 5 years ago. And when I did that, it was short-lived. I loved it. It served its purpose for me. I don't know why I didn't stick with it. There was no particular reason. Of course, it worked really well. The reason I looked into it at that time was because I had begun fasting, and I heard from a video that was posted with Dr. Alvinia Fulton. She had mentioned that it helps to curb the appetite when you're fasting, and you need to, you're looking for a way to make sure that you don't get hungry and give in to your cravings. So that's what I did. I watched a video on sea moss, and the one that I saw at the time was very different from what most people do today. So back then, I made a tea out of my sea moss, and then I took the moss out of the water. Of course, this is after you have cleaned it and soaked it. So once I got done making the tea with the sea moss, I took the moss out of the water, and then I drank the water. I poured some, I drank some while it was hot, and then I poured the rest into a really large mason jar, probably like a 32-ounce mason jar. And then it turned into a gel after that. But it was a little different from the gel you see today where people blend the moss with the water. At that time, it was just the water, the tea from the sea moss. So it had turned into what looked like a jello, like a clear jello. So that was what I had then. And yes, that alone did help me with my fasting. And I had never really fasted before that, but when I was able to use the sea moss, it got me up to about 7 days. And I think that's pretty good for someone who never really fasted before. So sea moss is very good for fasting. The other thing is I'm getting inquiries about my sea moss because I have decided to blend my sea moss with herbs. I'm an herbalist, so you see things out there like fruit-infused sea mosses, and another popular one is sea moss with elderberry. So I decided that I am going to create a synergistic blend and mix the sea moss with the products that I already have. So I can't wait to see how my first customer of the Fibroid Fighter sea moss, how her results come out. Now, I do have someone who is taking my Fibroid Fighter and the hormone adjustment together. This is the first time that I've had someone take those together. I mean, I take them together, obviously. Hi, ladies. I take them together myself, and of course, I don't have any problems, and I haven't been to the doctor, guys. I haven't been to the doctor since my 9-year-old was born, and they told me that I had fibroids that were not a problem. So the reason I knew that those immediate years following when he was born, the reason I knew that my fibroids were, a nuisance was because of the way my periods bothered me. The heavy bleeding, the cramping, the debilitating days, like 2 or 3 days in, the first 2 or 3 days of your period, sometimes even up to like the 4th, even the 5th day, it could be pretty debilitating. And my periods would last a full-fledged 7 days. So, after I started changing my eating habits, and I had even experimented with going vegan, all those things created a shift in my body. And I've gotten further and further and further and further away from all of those problems during my menstrual cycle. Then, once I launched my own line last year in July, I started taking my products, which was a very, it was a blend that I put together specifically to target all of the symptoms we ladies experience during that time of the month, especially when we have a really hard time. Stuff that could possibly lead to future surgery, like my mom had. She ended up having to have a full hysterectomy because her fibroids were so bad and so large that the type of pain that she experienced rendered her completely immobile. And when the pain hit, sometimes it would hit out of nowhere, and she would find herself just crumbling to the floor and crawling, trying to get relief from the pain. It literally had her on all fours, on the floor, because she couldn't even stand erect. She couldn't even, the pain wouldn't allow her to stand up straight. She literally was like bent over all the way down to the floor because of the pain. So, I almost got to that point, but like I said, when I started making changes, it made a huge impact on my health. And I just got so used to it. Not only that, but you get addicted to the good feeling of health. We need to talk about that one day. I need to do a video on the good addiction of health. Health is an addiction. Feeling good is an addiction. Why not let health be the thing that feeds that addiction, right? So anyway, those things changed my life, as well as, again, once I started taking my own products, the Fibroid Fighter and the hormone adjustment, so many things had changed for me. And so now, you guys, this is going to sound crazy. I don't know why I do this. Another thing that I want to start getting into, I really want to start talking about psychology, the human psyche and how it affects our ability to be successful at our goals, reaching our goals in terms of weight loss, in terms of food choices, in terms of whatever we're doing financially, all these things, being able to follow through. Okay, I have these products that work and I don't use them until I realize I need them, and that is defeating the purpose. You're supposed to take them so you won't get back to that point where you feel like you need them. Okay, I'm getting off the topic. So I have a friend who I sent these products to, and she's taking both. Now, she's someone who also has such a hard time during that time of the month. It's almost indescribable what she goes through. She can barely describe it to me. All I know is that it's so bad that she is down that whole week that she is on her period. And not just that, but she has to recover from the pain she felt during her menstrual cycle. And she said it usually takes her 2 to 3 days to recover from everything that she experienced during her cycle. So she has been dealing with this for years, and she is, she tried some things before, but she said that her body gets used to a remedy, and then it quickly, you know, after it adapts to that, it goes back to, you know, the pain. So she said, using these products, she did not have the painful period that she usually has, nor did she have to go through the recovery process. So, or I think she said it was much less than the experience she had been having. So anyway, okay, this video is getting long. It's 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So let's see. Using those products work. I don't know why I don't take them until I'm like, oh no, my period is coming and I'm feeling the symptoms. And then I try to take it, right? So, but before, when I was taking those products with, or with regularity, I never ended up getting the symptoms. I never had an alarm to go off in my head to tell me, oh, your period is coming. I never had any of the PMS, the premenstrual syndrome. I never had any of that. It took it all away. Like, psychologically, was that me saying, okay, I need that. I need what I'm familiar with. Like, what, you know, why do we do the things we do? I don't know. All right. Anyway, I answered an email that I got from a dear woman who attended my Zoom, and I did it through my Facebook Live video. So if you get a chance to watch my Facebook Live, if you're watching this video, please watch my Facebook Live. I can't wait to get back with you guys on Zoom again on Sunday. It's probably going to be either at 7:30 or 8:30 Eastern in the evening. We'll try to figure out what works best for everybody, because when I started at 8:30 Eastern, and if I have a lot of participation, it tends to go over an hour, and we want to keep it confined to an hour. Then I got another inquiry from someone through my business page, my Facebook business page, and they were saying that fortunately their doctor ruled out some things that they were afraid of when they started noticing their body changing after taking a brand of sea moss that they had found. And they said they found me through YouTube talking about sea moss, of course. So they asked me if I thought, in my opinion, if the things that were happening to them, which was namely like a really sensitive stomach, if it was perhaps caused by the sea moss. Now, if you are taking sea moss, and this video is getting long and I'm talking and talking, so this is probably going to be about 20 minutes. I'll probably add a little timestamp so you'll know where I'm talking about sea moss, because I'm going to title this about sea moss. Okay, sea moss has 92 ingredients that your body is comprised of. So let that sink in. In particular, there are about 102 minerals that you need. Sea moss has 92 of them. Now, when you begin to infuse your body or nourish your body with its own ingredients, you're going to experience some changes. I hope this makes sense, right? You're going to experience some changes. You are going to go through a process of rejuvenation. And with most things, you're going to experience something before you get to the goal. And a lot of times when we're talking about our health and supplements, usually people experience what's called a healing crisis. So as your body is trying to adapt to getting healthy again, it is trying to expel things that don't belong, and it's trying to recalibrate itself so that it can work, at its optimum levels. And as it's doing all of this, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel it happening. And it's not going to necessarily feel good before it gets to the point where it's like, okay, we're going to settle here at this level of health. Everybody knows what a toothache feels like, right? Sometimes it's so harsh. I've heard it described as worse than labor pains. And I guess I would compare it a little bit to the labor pains I had. Maybe some people might say your toothache might not have been that bad if you can compare it to that, but it was. I ended up having to get surgery on my wisdom tooth. And it was so bad that, and I'm a little crazy like that. The dentist was like, we're going to put you to sleep. I said, no, you're not going to put me to sleep. I'm going to stay awake, and I want to feel this tooth. I want the tooth to feel my wrath. I want to feel you pull this tooth out. I was like, don't put me to sleep. Just numb the area. It was like when they pulled that tooth out, they numbed the area. I did not go to sleep. Okay. He obliged with my request. So they dulled the area. They numbed the area, of course. I'll never forget the pressure of him. It was like he was taking his tool. He practically had to put his foot on my shoulder and trying to yank. And I was like, yes, get it out, like, get it, I know I'm a little crazy, but the pressure that he had to apply, because that root is so deep, it's deeply rooted. But when he got that tooth out, it felt like he was trying to pull cement out of my mouth. But I was like, yeah. You ever seen Happy Gilmore when he was like happy when the balls were hitting him in the chest? That's how I was feeling. Okay, enough with the goofiness. So I said all that to say there's going to be a little bit of resistance when you're doing something, when you're making a change. So when you're making your body healthy and it has not been at that level of health, there's gonna be some, kind of resistance, so to speak. And so you'll feel different symptoms. Your body will begin to try to heal, and it's gonna go through a period of adjustment. So be patient with your body. Another analogy I used in my Facebook Live videos was, don't go into this with a wrecking ball mentality, because you don't want to harm yourself while you're doing all of this. Be gentle with your body. Take time, especially, the email that I got from the lady. Know that it's going to take some time and you have to be gentle. But as you're doing these things, the most important thing you can do for yourself when you're taking something like sea moss to regenerate your whole body is drink water. Because when you are regenerating your body, you are now giving your body all of what it was lacking previously And so now that it is not lacking, it now can suit up and power up to do everything that it was designed to do. So now you're going to have things working that were maybe dormant before. Just not, maybe your kidneys weren't functioning properly. Maybe your gallbladder. Maybe your thyroid gland. And so once all these things start to actually have the fuel that, they need, once they start to have the fuel that they need, you're going to have, health, energy, vitality. But it's going to take some time because it's going to start expelling toxins. And you need to the older we are or the more unhealthy we were before, and sometimes a combination of both, it's going to take some patience and some time and a little tender loving care, a little TLC, to be sure that you're not going into it with a wrecking ball mentality. I had used the example of like when they're redesigning a home on HGTV and they're going in there and they're yanking out drywall and breaking porcelain sinks and, just pulling things out. We can't do that with our body, so be patient. And even though I described that experience at the dentist like the way I did, of course, he was gentle, even though it didn't feel like it. But that was actually, it was actually done with care. So, know that it's going to take some patience. But most importantly, when we are doing these things, your body will automatically repair itself on its own, as long as you keep fueling it. And when it's repairing itself, it will expel things that it does not, cannot use, cannot process, things that are inorganic, that do not belong. So as it does that, it is so important that you drink water, plenty of it, to help keep these toxins coming out of your body. Add lemon to your water. Add cayenne pepper and lemon to your water. Do things that you want to help the process. You don't want to be a wrench in the clockwork. So, I hope all of this is making sense. As far as the stomach sensitivity and the sea moss, hopefully this makes sense for you. And it'll, keep you on the right path as far as hydrating properly and continuing with your sea moss in a manner that will not be too much too soon. Adjust your dose. And then, like I said, guys, if anybody's interested, at JulyWellness.com, I am going to start having a variety of sea mosses. There are 3 there now, but there's a plethora of formulas to come. Check me out on Facebook. I am Herbalist July on Facebook. Also, I have my business page there, which is JulyWellness, of course. On Instagram, I am also JulyWellness. And on those social networks, you will see the different formulas that I have that I'm putting together for the sea moss. Okay. I even did a live video to tell you a little bit about how the sea moss is working already. I just started last week and I'm getting testimonies, and people are reordering and everything already. So, all right. That is it. I have now effectively talked for 25 minutes. I didn't mean to do that. So I will see you guys soon. Please, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you for your support. Please give me a thumbs up for this video. And you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. Please stay safe. You still need to take precautions because of this pandemic. And I will always have information for you if you need to you know, get rid of a virus. Just let me know. And I will be having a special CMOS for you. All right. Take care, guys.